Avoiding Rape on and Off Campus, second edition. So I just happened to discover this sort of on accident in the library in the criminology section at Halle Library or Hale Library or however it's pronounced. And of course, the title captivated my interest for a couple of reasons. The first big one is it's almost kind of a trend when it comes to the issue of rape on college campuses. Some things in season one minute, then out the next. And one of the things that's always been kind of controversy, sometimes said that schools should not provide it versus that schools should provide it, is rape prevention and awareness. And the reason why this falls in and out of favor always hinges on the issue of, well, you shouldn't teach people how to avoid violence, you should teach violent people how to not be violent. And now, to me, that's the that logic of you should teach, non-violent sociopaths, or I'm sorry, violent psychopaths to be not violent. It just doesn't work. That's why they're violent psychopaths. I mean, I'm sorry, but I also so I was interested in that. I also wanted to know, what do they tell women, because this was, by a woman who's highly educated, and I was wondering, what does this book actually have to say to women? And there are some actual smart bits of advice that honestly everybody should follow in terms of situational awareness to make themselves less of a victim of violent crime. But there's also a lot of really dumb kind of gobbledygook in this book, and I'm like, hey, come on, really? Now, nothing. Now, none of the specific things come to mind, but there was plenties of that. Essentially, when you're laying down ideas and suggestions, you got to factor in that somebody's being physically attacked, even if the attack may not be very violent, which is something else, which is something that this book does get into. Not all instances of rape are going to be very violent instances. Certainly not all going to leave injuries or leave visible marks and such. That people are going to panic and fine ideas and motor skills just aren't going to work. So some of the stuff here comes across more as like Hollywood kung fu fighting ish kind of things. On that, it was an interesting book. This is made in the 80s, and so probably actually wouldn't be made today. I just don't think a lot of professors would make a book like this. As I said, it's too much of a hot topic. It keeps on changing. Like I said, there's initiatives that universities should almost require this type of training. And then there are people who are going to be very vehemently against that. And I understand both sides, but I far more agree that, training should be made available, but it shouldn't be made mandatory. And I'm sorry, college students got enough on their plate already.